All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and start. So we have 45 of our 55 Texas agents already on this morning. So that's exciting. It's always fun to see everybody's faces, especially those of you with your video on. You look really good this morning. So it's really good. Okay, I have 2 housekeeping items if you want to write these down, just 2 today. The Persuaded series is in week 3 right now. And it's really good, you guys. If you've heard people in the past talk about language of sales, who's ever heard that before? Language of sales? Okay, about half the room definitely has heard language of sales. This is like language of sales, but faster paced and like a little bit more on steroids, right? So it's really good sales coaching. It is live cast on the Facebook group called Our Happy Place. It used to be called like Ben Kinney Team, right? But we're trying to integrate everybody. So Our Happy Place Facebook group is where it is live cast. It's live cast Tuesdays at 1:30 our time if you want to follow along, or it's saved there so that you can go back to it anytime. So I think if you're the kind of person who wants to work smarter, that's the reason you'd want to be on these calls, right? It is not for newbie agents. I listen to it every week and I see a bunch of you guys top agents on there. So it's great for everyone. The second thing that I want to go over is Thursday, the 27th, Ben and Chris are doing our first ever mid-year recognition. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I have no idea, but put it down in your calendar as Thursday, the 27th, if it's not already there. It's going to be at noon our time. I'd allocate 90 minutes for it. And it's actually super special because if you were at State of the Company, or if you've ever heard Ben and Chris talk about the fact that we're going to have a revenue share model, this is where they're going to launch it. So you want to be on that call. It's going to be like one of those calls, like everybody's going to talk about it later. You don't want to be the one missing out because you're going to feel awkward. Anyway, just want to make sure you guys knew about those 2 housekeeping items coming up. Let me give you updates on Texas before we get started so you guys can see what you guys have been achieving. Number 1 thing to write down, we have 55 agents on the Ben Kinney side, I guess, of place. You guys, these 55 agents, have closed 460 units so far this year. 460 units. This is way ahead of last year, by the way. What that actually means is you guys sell a house basically every 11 hours. That's like 2 houses a day, every day of the year. That's a lot. And at this kind of you think about like how much we sell, and then you think about your level of service that you guys are committed to. Like that kind of combination is what is going to make us number 1 in Texas. It'll be here like this. The next thing you guys would want to know is how much volume you've sold, right? Because sometimes people will say, well, you guys just sell a lot of houses, but you know, we sell expensive houses, things like that. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but I've heard that in Austin. You guys have sold $143 million, $143 million worth of real estate this year alone, closed, not pending, closed. 23 million of it was just in the 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, you guys. And then the last thing I want to tell you guys is you guys have $49 million pending right this second. So when I look at that, I think, okay, that's good. 49 million. I mean, that's a big number. It's almost so big that I don't even know what to do with it. Here's what's important about that 49 million. You guys, have you ever had an experience where you've seen another agent like be on this high, like they've closed stuff, but then they have nothing pending? Has that ever happened to anybody, or have they ever seen it happen? Okay, maybe like 2 people. Okay, the rest of you guys are perfect. I love it. But for everybody else, what tends to happen is you'll have this high and you close and then you have no pendings. That's not happening in Texas, you guys. What's happening for you guys is 49 million is 2 million more than we had last week, right? So not only are you guys closing a lot, you guys keep adding pendings on top of pendings on top of pendings. So that's really cool. Congratulations. It's halfway through the month of August. If you're looking at a calendar, it means you have 15 weeks basically left to pen things and get business going to close this year. So 15 weeks. So that's a lot of time, right? That's 15 weeks we could do a lot with. So today we have two awesome Texas agents. They're both ladies, so that's really exciting. We'll get some men, I guess, here in a few weeks. But today we've got ladies, and they're going to be talking about social media. Now, I know we have two camps within our group. We have the camp that loves social media, and this is going to be awesome for them. The other camp just, I can't say that they hate it, but they just aren't good at it or think they're not good at it, don't really know what to do with it, and don't really want to mess with it, right? And all of that is totally okay. So our vision today is, number one, to provide you with two different ways to leverage social media. And I use the word leverage because there are few ways, you guys, that you can talk to hundreds of people at the same time, right? So it is leverage for you. So I am going to set up the call like this. Beth, I'm going to introduce you and you're going to share. And then Elizabeth, I'm going to introduce you and then you're going to share. And the goal here is for you to either go all in on social media because you're inspired by these girls, or you're like, you know what? I don't think this is a lead gen lever for me, but I can pick up one good thing from either of these girls to beef up the business that I already have. Is that cool? Thumbs up if it's cool. All right. See, now I know who's listening. Awesome. I love it. Okay. And then what I want you to do is post your questions in the chat box, because I'm just going to manage the chat box so that all your questions get answered. And the whole point of this, you guys, is for you to make more money. Because when you make more money, you can earn more time. You can buy the things you want, right? Money doesn't buy happiness, but poverty certainly doesn't either, right? So, Beth, are you on?
Yes, I am.
All right, let me find you on my screen. Perfect. Let me go ahead and give you screen sharing.
Okay, perfect.
Ability, so you can do this. And then it's all yours, by the way. So you can go crush it. And then I'm just going to jump in whenever I see questions that are relevant. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, I'm going to share your screen.
Perfect.
Tell us who you are and a little bit about you, and then it's all yours.
Awesome. So I'm Beth Martin. I am with the Ben Kinney team, Austin. I was actually originally born and raised in Midland, Texas. So still with the Ben Kinney team there. I did move out of Midland the second I graduated high school, and I moved to Lubbock. I lived there for a couple of years, and then my boyfriend and I decided to pack up my dog and my cat and move to Austin in 2015. When 2016, I started with the team. I started as an intern with Amanda Seaman, and then I was unlicensed, and then from there, I got licensed with her. I started working as a buyer's agent for Amanda. And that's when I started utilizing Facebook, sort of. I got a couple buyers and a couple different sellers for us. And then really whenever I went out on my own this year is when I really started utilizing Facebook. And I've generated 4 listings and 5 buyers so far, all just from, simple Facebook groups. So,
okay. So Beth, just to be clear for everybody, you didn't generate 4 seller leads and 5 buyer leads. These are like people that are signed and ready to go, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody got it.
Yeah. So these are like listings that are active now, or ones that I've already closed, buyers that I've already closed also. So when I'm not doing real estate, I am with my dog Ace. He's a corgi, or at the park with my boyfriend. I've actually utilized Facebook groups for my dog also, and I've gotten my dog different ads with Samsung, and Dodo, so he pays for his way around here in Austin. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and get started. So today we're just going to be talking about how to actually get leads from Facebook, different groups and different things that you can do. So besides your personal Facebook group, or your personal Facebook page, Facebook also offers different private groups. So these are just small groups. You want to make sure that the groups that you are looking in are less than 5,000 people or around 5,000 people. If you tend to go over, your posts start to get lost in the news feed and it's harder to get your posts seen. So just think of these groups as like small communities. And I have some examples of different groups that you can join, like neighborhood groups. If you're a parent, you can join like mom groups or dad groups. Like I was mentioning, I have a group for my dog. It's called Austin Corgi Lovers. So I'm a part of that group as well. You just want to make sure that you are picking groups that are local in your area. If you love football, it's not going to do you much justice if you're in a full-blown United States football Facebook group. You're not going to get many leads from that. So you want to make sure that you're staying in your local area that you want to work. And then also, I would just go ahead and avoid joining real estate related groups because you're just going to see a lot of other realtors marketing and stuff like that. So it's not a good place to gain leads, but it's a good idea to join those groups if you don't have any ideas of what to post. So I keep mentioning the neighborhood Facebook group. What you would do, that's a great place for everyone to start. If people are like, oh my gosh, where do I start my Facebook group? That's a perfect place to start. You don't have to create any pages. Just go and look for groups that are already started. What I did is I actually just went on the Nextdoor app when I first moved into my house and asked what our neighborhood Facebook page was and found it that way. Now, if I posted that post on my neighborhood post or on my neighborhood app and I got a lot of replies that were like, we don't have a Facebook group. From that point, I would just create my own Facebook group and just share it with the people on Nextdoor so then they can go and add and start liking your group. So once you are in your group, you just want to make sure that you post like a short little intro. Your intro can just be something short and simple, just looks like something like, hey, my name is Beth. I just moved to the neighborhood. I'm a local real estate agent. I have a corgi named Ace and a cat named Louie. If you see us out, say, hey, thanks for the ad. So something just super short, simple, just throw in that you're an agent, but it's not too salesy. So you just want to make sure that once you are in your group that you do post pretty consistently. So what I do is I post 1 to 2 times a month about real estate, and this isn't like a super strict schedule. So one is just I post a monthly market report at the beginning of the month, and then a second post during the month may be like a new listing or a new open house. And I have some examples of what those posts look like that I can show you in the next slide. So in the meantime, when you're not posting that 1 to 2 times about real estate, you want to make sure that you are commenting and reacting to other posts and that you're staying active. That's the number one thing to do in your group, is just to stay active, to stay in the news feed. The more people see you on their newsfeed and in their notifications, the more they feel like they know you. So whenever they reach out to you, it's more personable and they're not awkward. It's like they're just talking to a friend that they've already met before. So in these groups, you will see posts like, does anyone have a recommendation for a plumber or anything that's like housing related or real estate related? I always comment on. So if it was just someone looking for a quick plumber, all I do is the Austin team here has a vendor list, and I just go to that vendor list and pick a recommended plumber on the list. and I just go back to the post and say, hey, so-and-so, my team recommends this plumber. And so then again, I'm mentioning that I am in real estate, but also I'm just adding value and I'm just helping that member. You're doing this by creating leverage. So the more and more you post in the real estate pages, members will actually start just tagging you in post and being like, oh, Beth is the real estate expert, go to her. So now in my neighborhood page, if someone posts, hey, I'm thinking about selling, who's a good real estate agent? I usually have 6 other members that have tagged me in the post before I've ever even seen it. And then that gives me, some ground with the original poster, because now they feel like I have some backing from the group. So also, you'll see the I need a real estate agent post if you haven't already seen it in like different referral groups and everything like that. You know that those posts get 1,000 comments. Every single real estate agent within a mile is posting. Every single person that knows someone is posting on that post. And so I have a good little tactic that I can also show you to make sure that your comment gets seen and that you can actually set an appointment with that person. So my monthly market report, this was my first ever monthly market report that I posted in the neighborhood. And so what I did was I just set up myself on an email from Brevity for my neighborhood of a market report. And then I just took a nice, easy screen grab of it and threw it up on Facebook. So I didn't create any of this, like any of the marketing or anything like that. It's already created all for us. So what I did is I just threw up the market report, and then in the dialogue, I just made it very conversational on what's going on in the neighborhood. So you'll see that I got like 22 comments on this one and only 6 likes. You want to make sure that you are getting more comments than likes. So quick little tidbit, if your post gets like, let's say 106 likes but only 2 comments, that doesn't do you any good. It's still just going to be lost in the news feed on your group. Once there's 22 comments, Facebook prioritizes it because it feels like it's a post that's getting a lot of traction. So they'll actually put it towards the top of the news feed. So if someone goes onto the post, let's say on February 20th, and I posted this on the February 19th, then they still saw this post at the very top of the page because it had 22 comments. And then after you post your first one, your second one and your third one is pretty easy to post. You can just say, hey, since I've last posted, here's some stats of what's been going on. This one, the market report didn't make it look too well because it says like 25 decrease and 1% decrease. So in the dialogue, I made it seem a little bit more appealing. Even those are great numbers for my neighborhood. The normal person just isn't going to think like that. So, and then, so when I'm not posting my 2 market reports, some other real estate related content that I post, because I do post 1 to 2 times. So that's my first post. My second post is usually a buyer's need. So we have a buyer need Slack channel on our team where all of our agents just go and put every single one of their buyers' needs in the Slack channel. So what I do is I just go through there and find people that have the same criteria as my neighborhood, which is pretty much a lot. And I go and just put that into a quick post onto Facebook. And then you can also cross-pollinate this post. I can post this one on my neighborhood Facebook group, and then I can also post this one in like different Facebook groups like Girls Only and Austin and stuff like that. So you can really cross-pollinate some of these posts. Another one that's a little bit more laid back and more friendly is, here's my lovely dog Ace in our Ben Kinney bandana, and it says that he will sit for referrals. So I just threw up a quick dog fact and asked people to say what they love to do with their dog. So again, says that I was a realtor, but it's not too in your face, salesy, used carsman. It's just, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Here's my cute dog, no pressure.
Hey, Beth, quick question.
Yeah.
Going back to your last slide, when we were talking before, you mentioned that when you're putting these buyer needs, like you wouldn't put a $500,000 buyer need on your neighborhood page, right? Because that's not your neighborhood. Your neighborhood is, 200, 250, right?
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, if I was a part of a group that I knew had a higher price point, then I might post that one to that group instead.
Okay. So you're speaking to your demographic, basically.
Yeah. You definitely need to know your audience, and it takes some time. Once you first start posting, it takes some time to really figure out who your audience is. But once you find it, just run with it. And people will ultimately just start following it. So the I have a real estate agent post, here's an example of what I did to just get a new buyer just last month. So Caroline just posted that, she wanted to buy her first house. She did a couple bullet points of what she was looking for. So my first comment to Caroline is I'm first congratulating her on wanting to become a homeowner. I'm touching on a couple of her posts, and I'm just doing a quick introduction, and I'm going to tell her that I'm messaging her my information. So then here's a screen grab of our message. So then again, it's just a quick message. I touched on what she mentioned in the post. And then after I sent this message, I actually went back to my comment, tagged Caroline again and said, hey, Caroline, I just sent that message. If you don't see it in your inbox, it might be hiding in your request. Because there's two different inboxes on Facebook if you haven't found out yet. And then once I commented that second time is actually when Caroline messaged me back, and we scheduled the appointment, and she ultimately signed the buyer rep. So you just want comment twice, message once is usually the good way that I find to get in with the I have a realtor post.
Beth, what's your mindset? Because I see there's 48 comments, and I can look at that and say, oh, 48 comments, she's already found somebody. I wasn't the first, I wasn't the second, I wasn't the 10th. There's 48 comments. What's your mindset on that?
So I comment no matter what. Like if there's 500 posts and I'm number 501, I'm commenting on it. So this one, yeah, had 48 posts. I was probably closer towards the end. I was probably number 44, and I still commented, and she didn't get back to me until 6:57. So you know what, she posted this, she got busy, she saw that a bunch of comments came in, and then later that evening is when she actually went through and started finding the comments. So still always make sure that you are commenting, because you don't know when they are going to go through it, and they probably are going to go through every single comment to see which one, to see, who's getting recommended the most, who they connect with overall the best with. And so when you're not posting real estate things, you want to also make sure that you're just posting other, posts about recommendations, happy holidays. Before all of this COVID stuff, I would post if people wanted to meet up. So, I mean, I guess you could still post meetups if you're like, less than 10 people and 6 feet apart. So you can still also do that. And then just avoid posting and commenting on stuff that is controversial. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. You don't want to be, and someone's going to disagree with you. So you don't want to comment and make one person mad, because that could have been your one client, and they're going to hold that one thing you posted against you on social media and you pretty much just lost your chance with that person. I've also noticed that people will comment on your post and some people absolutely hate the high real estate market. So if they see that neighborhood prices are rising, and they're an older neighbor, they may comment and be like, "Oh, you're jacking up our prices." I never comment. I never even say anything back. Other neighbors will actually comment in my defense. So I just, grab some popcorn and read the comments and enjoy myself. So some ideas of some non-real estate related posts would just be, hey, any corgis? This is something that I posted in the Austin Corgi Lovers. Just anyone interested in making a dog walking team? And then again, in my girls only page, recommendations get a ton of interactions. Every single time I post, all I'm trying to do is get a lot of interactions. So I just posted, hey, I'm looking to go to the beach. What are some recommendations? And, I got 48 comments, and then people don't just think that I'm a real estate robot. They think I'm a human. So that's nice. I know that a common misconception about Facebook is that it's just hard to post and we don't have a lot of things to come up with and we don't know anything that we can post. But the truth is, on the Ben Kinney team, we have endless amount of content to post and you're probably just overthinking it. So tell your recent success stories, tell stories on Facebook about your closings. You just help this first time home buyer into their house and they got a super low interest rate or they got money back at closing. That's just a quick, easy, simple post and you're not really creating content. You're just telling your Facebook groups what happened. You can also do recent market stats. I think Adelina mentioned earlier that we sell a house every 11 hours here in Texas on the Texas team. That's a great Facebook post. Go and be like, hey guys, did y'all know that my team sells a house every 11 hours? This market is crazy. If you want to take advantage of it, message me how. So quick, simple, nothing that you had to absolutely do to make your story known. You just told our team stats. Also, another really good content post is new build incentives. I know a girl on our team, she really wanted to she wanted to start posting on Facebook, but she didn't really know what to do. So she was actually having me post to her own Facebook page for her. And I would just post, local new build incentives and they just got 25, they're paying all closing costs here at Milestone or whatever. And she was setting appointments from this and she was like, oh my gosh, Beth, you're so good at Facebook. And I was like, no girl, I'm just literally telling stories about what you did. Like you did all the hard work. I'm just literally posting it in a quick story for you. So don't overthink it. So some tips and tricks is something that you post in one group may not be successful in another group. You just have to play around with different post ideas. Each time you post something, don't expect immediate business from it. So that first market repost that first market report that I posted in February, I just signed, one of the first comments on it was from Jessica, and I just pinned Jessica on a buyer last month and her house goes live next week. So even though she was commenting in February, she wasn't ready until July, and I just nurtured her until then. And then just stay active, like I've been saying. You want to add value and then just be consistent. And whenever they message you, make sure you message them back within 2 hours. If you take 48 hours to reply to their message, they are no longer thinking about real estate. It's not on their mind, and they're not going to reply to you. And then lastly, just to tell your own success stories. And if you're a newer agent like me and you don't have much success stories yet to tell, you can always use your teammates' success and your team's success stories too to tell. So the biggest takeaway is, I think, overall, many of us, why we don't post is that we're afraid of rejection. We don't want our friends to see the post and think that we're losers. Just don't overthink it. Throw up a quick post. I mean, worst case scenario is that it doesn't get any likes and it doesn't get any comments, and you delete it and you just go on with your life like it never happened. And I promise you, since I've been doing this, not one person has came up to me and been like, man, Beth, that one post you posted back in March, it was so lame. I can't believe you posted that. It's never happened. So, and you don't have to spend hours creating this. I spend probably an hour a week total doing all of my Facebook, if that. So utilize the tools we have from the team and don't spend a lot of time on it.
Okay, I love that. Thank you so much, Beth. And one thing that when I was talking to you, Beth, that I loved, that I thought was a good hack was, while Beth is dialing on Mojo in the mornings, while you're waiting for people like pick up the phone, like she's doing, that's when she's doing her commenting and like likes in the groups. Like she's not like blocking like 5 hours a day to do this. I just want to be real clear. This is not 5 hours a day kind of work. It's not even 5 hours a week. But you're getting a pretty good return on, 1 or 2 hours a week, 4 sellers signed, 5 buyers signed. That's a very nice return. We spend a whole lot more time doing open houses. I'm saying do open houses. I'm saying this is an easy thing to add to your business. Thank you so much, Beth. Appreciate you. Elizabeth, good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
And congratulations on your success. 10 million pended and closed. Tell us what you're doing, ma'am. Let's go. Tell us about you and then tell us what you do.
All right. Yes. So hi, everybody. Good morning. And Beth, thanks for all that. I don't use Facebook groups as much, but I have started a little bit. So I definitely took some notes. So thanks for that. For me, just a little bit of history on just myself. I was born in Mexico, grew up in California, but have lived in the Dallas area since '98. So I have a huge sphere here. My jobs in the past, I worked for Apple, the Apple store for 5 years, and then corporate jobs. And the last job I had before real estate was for SodaStream, the at-home soda machine. And I was a regional trainer for that. And so a lot of my past is actually training adults how to do stuff. So training people how to use their computers and things like that. I was never in sales at Apple, but being that I worked at Apple, I started there September 2007 and the iPhone came out June 2007. So literally I've been on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on all like the social medias. I'm always the first to download it just to see what was going on with it. So I've just been around that a lot. So that's kind of how I've been on social media for so long. And I have a lot of friends on there. So for me, social media was more about connecting with the people I already know. But as far as like getting into the business, I've been licensed since July 2016. So 4 years. I started off as Sarissa's showing agent. So my first year in real estate was pretty much just helping her show clients. And then slowly transitioned into just doing some buyers. And then now fully doing listings and buyers for the last like 2 years, like full time, just as an agent.
Awesome.
And then personal stuff, I just went under contract on my own house. I closed September 1st. So that's exciting. I got a dog back in November. So if you see pictures of Wyatt, I have a little Shishan, a Shih Tzu, Bichon Frise mix that you'll see every once in a while. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. Normally I do a lot of like trivia and I go out a lot, very extroverted, but so far I've had to stay home and do different activities. So that's a little bit about me. I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen with you guys. And let's talk about social media. So real quick, I don't know if anyone who has like a big sphere. like in local big sphere. Yeah. So that's kind of what my whole deal is, right? Like I've lived here since I was 12 or 13, went to school around here. I've worked jobs with a lot of people. The Apple store itself, like I've closed so many people from that job, even though I stopped working at that store in 2010. Literally, because they know I do a good job. We stayed connected because of social media. Just this last week, 2 people from high school that I had not spoken to since 2004, since I graduated, messaged me just like random social media questions. I had someone tag me in a post. He was selling his own house and he was having issues, and he tagged me. He's like, do you have a buyer for this? Even though I wasn't the one selling it because I hadn't done a good job keeping that connection, he knows I'm an agent and tagged me to see if I had a buyer. And now he's commenting on all my stuff and is like really paying attention. So you just never know who's reading your things and who might need, might reach out to you. So this is all, I wanted to talk about how I get referrals through social media, but that's referrals from my sphere and agent referrals. So I love how Beth has a completely different use for Facebook than I do. She's more like local based. I want people to call me. So my whole deal is to put content out there where people can refer me business. So how do you stay in front of your sphere? First of all, is first like post where your sphere hangs out. So that might not always be Facebook. For my age group, I'm 34. There's lots on Facebook. Instagram's probably like my next favorite app to use. But then there's like TikTok. I know Cecilia on our team has gained some people from TikTok. If like LinkedIn might be, like I know Ben loves LinkedIn, right? And he's gotten business from there, if that's more your jam. YouTube, Twitter, like choose one, get good at it, and then add more to it, or just use the ones that you're already on. So I'm already on a couple of them, so I want to like maximize those to their fullest potential before adding any more onto there. And as far as posting, some people say, oh, don't post too much, or only post like 3 posts a day or something. I say 3 to 5 across all platforms and different mediums. So I might do 7 stories throughout the day, but it's stories, right? They go away. They're not going to be on people's feeds necessarily unless they're watching them. I might post to my business page and then something different on my personal page and then something on Instagram. So it's not that I'm on one platform posting 5 in a row. I'm just like throughout the day posting where it's appropriate. And sometimes it's the same video that I'm posting in different places. I'll do a video of myself, post it on my business page, share it to my personal page, link it to my story. Because you don't know how, some people don't like to scroll through Instagram, for example. They only watch stories. The whole point is to get your content in front of different people. So if you're not using stories, for example, like start adding those, because even though you might not scroll through them, other people do. Like when I started linking stories to Facebook, I kept getting a bunch of comments from like 4 or 5 people, or likes from 4 or 5 people that I never really talked to and never really comment on my stuff, because that's not what they do. They like going through stories. So just find a mix of different ways to post. I personally have a business page and a personal page on Facebook, and I also have separate Instagram and like personal and work Instagrams. You don't have to do that, but I like to do it that way, because then if I get a referral, again, this is all for referrals, all they have to do is look for my business page, and then they can just look at all my business stuff. So, and that's actually worked several times where I get recommended from a past client. They say you should use Elizabeth. That person literally goes to my Facebook business page and messages me through there. So they've already looked at all this stuff. They can see that I'm closing stuff. They can see I'm posting valuable content. They can see videos, other people commenting on it. And then they feel comfortable to reach out to you. Because not everybody is gonna say, hey, Elizabeth, here I have Shelby that wants to buy a house. Here's her phone number, you should call her. Some people aren't comfortable with that. Instead, they might just send them a link to your business page, and then they can see, oh crap, like boom, 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 she's posting all this stuff. All of it's helpful. So it's your marketing, which is why you need to, if again, this is something you choose to do, like you have to be very consistent on what you post on it. And then like Beth said, comment and share other people's posts. It's all about the algorithm. So the more comments on a post, the higher on a feed, right? So I'm always going to be commenting on my sphere, just to make sure that all those pop up to the most, and then they start seeing your posts more because you're the one commenting on more stuff. And encourage other people, even if it's the team or your friends, to comment on certain posts that you want to be successful. Ask for help, because then they start seeing more. Whenever I posted my home tour of the house that I was buying, because that one had so many comments, that's what I think triggered all these high school friends to see it, because it had 110 comments on it, and now everybody was seeing it. So things like that, like you can instantly see that it's working. So if you really want something to be successful, like ask for other agents, or it doesn't matter who's commenting, right? It's just a numbers game. And then the other reason I use Facebook a lot is for agent referrals. So right now my business is 33% sphere and sphere referral and past client referral, 33% agent referral, and 33% internet and other sources. So this is a big part of my business. So the biggest thing is to start off with networking. I know that's hard right now, but it's still possible. Or if you've met other agents in the past, if you've gone to mega camp, if you've gone to family reunion and you have those business cards lying around, friend them. If you are in a sort of group, like if you've done Bold before, like I'm in KWYP, and I'm in the Dallas chapter up here, so I'm pretty involved with KWYP across the nation. That's been a huge source for me. I think I've had definitely over $1 million in volume this year just from KWYP referrals. And so join those groups. And I know like they're not the same as joining like realtor groups like for referrals. Those are different. Definitely join those groups too. I think those definitely have value. But these other groups are where people ask questions and you can add a value to other agents. If they have a question, try to answer it. I even do that in my own office. If people have a question, I answer it because I speak Spanish, so I can get referrals from my own market center. Or if they have other people that need referrals, they'll connect me as well. So join a bunch of those groups and be active in commenting on those as well. If there's someone whose referrals you really want to gain, or someone you just really enjoy, become their top fan, which means that you're liking and commenting on so many things on their business page that you get a little top fan diamond next to your name when you're commenting. And so that comment goes to the top of the list whenever they're scrolling through comments, and they're going to see your name all the time too. So that's worked really well for me. I have through YP met so many great people that I'll start tagging them in referral posts for their area. So that's the next thing to do, is if you're in these groups, and I tag Adelina all the time, I tag Casey all the time, I tag Brandon all the time. Anytime I see, I'm like, I know someone there, even if I'm the 50 millionth comment, I still tag them because I want to be top of mind for that person too. And whenever you see someone tag you, you're like, oh my gosh, they tagged me. Like, that's so nice. So now, I have someone in Boston I tag, anytime I see Savannah I tag, anytime I see Atlanta, I'm like, oh, Miami, Darnell, 100%, you should call him. Savannah, oh, Melissa McCandless, you should call her. And because I did that before they even really knew me, I've only met them like one time. Now every time they see Dallas, now they tag me. So now I have 10 people tagging me all the time in posts, and that's how I'm gaining referrals too. So that's kind of like a karma thing for me, right? The more I tag people and stuff, the more they're going to tag me, and it's going to, work out in everyone's favor. So that's about agent referrals. And then this is also going to tag really well with what Beth said, is content that, like, providing content, right? That's the big thing people are scared of, is like, I don't know what to post. So content that provides value, post a mix. So don't just post like just listed, just sold, under contract, coming soon, like houses all the time. Like, yeah, everyone likes to see pictures of houses, but They want to see a variety. So I always say, start out with what your goals are. Like for me, like this is how I made my social media strategy, is what kind of clients do I want? Where do I want them to be? What price points do I want? What posts would those clients like to see? So here I put some examples in there. So like I want more agent referrals, I do Realtor Spotlight. Brandon Ramirez has been my Realtor Spotlight for San Antonio. Anytime I need content, I'm just like, what other realtor do I want to highlight? And that's someone, you know, people start seeing, oh, she refers agents in other areas. So that works for my sphere, but that also works for my agent connections. Want more first-time home buyers, which is what I like to do, classes and educational content. I've just started doing a video series of posting about 4 videos a week of like 1 to 2 minutes long. And they've been so popular that I've had other agents comment, I love this. Or people that are past clients being like, that was so helpful. So, and it's 1 or 2, I've done a couple in my car. I do some just at my desk. I'm like, ask me questions. I had one client just was like, just closed last month. She's like, I got this homestead thing in my mail. What do I do? I was like, oh, I'll just do a video about it. Answered everyone, her question, and helped other people. And it took 2 seconds to do. Want to raise your price point, post luxury listings. One of my goals was I wanted to do more new construction. So I did like kind of what Beth said. I post anytime I see, hey, this community is doing something really awesome. Or if I've visited a community and really liked it, I'll do a new community spotlight and have like a bunch of pictures of their amenities, the price points they're at, the builders that are there, and we'll post that. And like what you want clients to be like you, right? Like those are the best, most fun people to show, like people that you have a good time with. So I post a lot of my dog. I post a lot about like memes and funny things. I have this little series we do where like Texas shaped things because it's just funny. So, but that's kind of my personality. So if you like sports or something, do more sports posts, like put things out there that will attract the people that you want to help. And as far as why people don't post, so I know a couple people just say, oh, I don't like social media. So my answer is just like, I was going to be a little cheeky with this one. It's like, do you like getting referrals? Do you like making money? Do you like people to call you? I set 17 appointments last month and I didn't lead gen 1 hour. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but I didn't. Do you like getting business that way? I mean, for me, if you have a big sphere, or like even with Beth, was what I love about Beth is that you don't need a big sphere for that one. If you're new to an area, that's a perfect place to start, and you can still do all this stuff and build on itself. It's just sitting there waiting, like someone's literally like raising their hand wanting your help. I don't know what to post. R&D, rip off and duplicate. You're welcome to go to my Facebook. I get a lot of ideas from other people's stuff. There's a couple agents I really like. And my assistant, by the way, Marlene, who just started in July, she does a lot of my posts now, which is great. But I'm just like, I like this. And I screenshot it, send it to her, and then she creates it and puts it on. Don't reinvent the wheel, just, you know, and even, especially if they're in other areas, it's really easy to message that agent and again, be like, hey, I love what you're doing on Instagram. Do you mind if I rip off some of your ideas? And you're not competing and you're not competing markets. So you're just like, sure. And that's another way to solidify a relationship and get another easy post idea. You don't want to flood people's timelines with real estate. Your 3 to 5 posts are like a drop in the bucket. Like literally when you're scrolling through hundreds of posts, your post is going to hopefully show up, but it's not like they're seeing you all the time repeated. So it's not going to happen. You're not going to flood anyone's anything. People don't find real estate posts interesting. People love real estate. They definitely find it interesting. That's why you're doing a mix of content, because there's going to be something everybody likes. And then I don't have time. You have the time, you've just not made adding another lead gen lever your priority. I learned that from Chris Suarez, to replace I don't have time with the words it's not a priority for me, because that's what the truth is. You have the time. It's just not a priority. So time block and invest in social media scheduler would be another tip. I use Planoly. It's $9 a month. On Mondays, Marlene and I say, what are our posts for the week? She writes them out, she gets them planned out, and they just post themselves throughout the week. So it's really nice to be able to do that. And then Facebook on your business page has a scheduler already in there. So you can literally once a week post all your posts there, and you're good to go. It's not like it takes a ton of time. And then this is just kind of an example of some analytics. So that's another nice thing about social media is that you can measure it. We always say, like, you know, what you can't control what you can't measure. So whenever we're, you know, doing our dials for the day and how many appointments did I set for the month and all that sort of stuff, this is kind of similar. I can see what's successful. I can see 1,000 people looked at my Instagram post. I can see that the average age of my viewers is 25 to 34. I can see that they're night owls. They mostly look at it, you know, in the evening times. And I can see what cities they're in. So most of my friends are in Dallas, so they're looking at it. So I need more Dallas-centric posts, things like that. And then as far as what, like, this one's like what my most liked are, literally the first most liked one was a meme. Then it's a top producer. Then it's some pretty pictures of houses. It's a mix of stuff, right? There's a sink shaped like Texas. There's new construction. There's just me. So it's not one kind of post that people like. Everyone likes different things. You can see from the top likes of the last month that it's all sorts of stuff. And then Facebook has analytics as well. So you can kind of see, they measure it a little bit differently. They measure it by reach, like how many people saw it, how many people interacted with it. So you can see this one had the most, which is when I got 18 offers in on a property. So people do like to see those things, right? But then this is like explanation of fees and services. That got a big reach. So again, it's a mix of content. Different people are gonna get different things out of it. So try to go fast because I know we're on a deadline for time, but
They're
hope
so
that
good.
was
We
helpful.
love that. And I think people will have questions, and Elizabeth is on Facebook and on Instagram, probably everywhere, so you can find her and follow what she's like. One thing I loved is, you know, once you start posting, you can start seeing what gives you the biggest reach. And then you can, just like anything else you guys have ever done, like when you first called an expired, were you good? No. And if you are just like, oh, I just don't like calling expireds, or, oh, I just don't like doing open houses, like, you know, like, you gotta have those lead gen levers. And this is such an easy one because people like real estate. Like, imagine if you were a dentist, right? You'd have to like post like gross pictures of people's mouths, right? We get to post like beautiful things like houses and luxury, and like come like educate people on like things that's going to really, really impact their lives. So like what a benefit we have to be social media like gurus out there with just a couple posts a week. It doesn't even have to be, it could be like Elizabeth, just, like Beth, just short, or you can go all in like Elizabeth. Like, there's no right or wrong. You're going to be successful once you commit, right? Because it's consistency, right? Elizabeth, did you see a result right away, or were you needing some consistency first?
I started going like hardcore on like really having a plan for social media and time blocking right when quarantine started, because I didn't have anything better to do and I've been wanting to do it for so long. And I had my second best month in July. So like right when everything opened back up, like June was great, July was great. Like we have stuff pending right now. So I definitely think it helps.
Okay, and in the chat box, Marlene had shared the website that you guys use for scheduling. And you guys can find Elizabeth and Beth both on Instagram and on Facebook for any of your questions. Just try it out, you guys, and then get help when you're not sure on something. And then Beth, you offered whenever you do, I know you do a few posts a month. Every time you post something, you'll screenshot it to me, and then I can just do like a daily, like a weekly digest to just give people ideas for 30 days. Because I know content is the hardest thing. Because everybody just overthinks it. And you guys, there's nothing to overthink. And I'm really excited that you guys got to do this.
Posted my Instagram. I'm like, rip off whatever you want. I have no problem with it.
I love it. I love it. So rip off anything Elizabeth does. And Beth, you wouldn't be able to see hers because hers are in groups, and she's going to share them with us anyway. I appreciate that, you guys. I know I know this is a lot of information. Would you guys share your slide deck so I can send them out to everybody? Elizabeth, I've got yours. Beth, are you okay with me sending out the slide deck? Awesome. Perfect. Okay, guys, the next time we'll see all of you guys will be Thursday, the 27th. It's 2 weeks from today. I don't know what we're going to do next, so hit me up if you have any ideas. And also, don't forget, Ben and Chris are speaking at noon on Thursday, the 27th, and it's one I wouldn't miss. I'm actually pretty excited. I hope that Texas sweeps the recognition awards. I would love a Texas sweep. I think we could do it. And if we don't do it, we now know who is on our hit list. Just kidding. There's probably going to be people watching this later and be like, no, we love everybody. We're Texas. And we want all their referrals, right? All right, guys, have an awesome day, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Thank you, ladies. Bye-bye.
Thank you.